Hello, this is Dan O'Brien and Guy Allen again. Let's talk about the second part of our discussion about international factors affecting the grain markets, particularly following up the COVID-19 impacts. I'd like to talk about some South America impacts. With that, Guy, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Dan. At this time, I want to focus a bit on the Brazilian situation, and particularly in the context of currency valuation. We've seen this record spending bill passed at $2.2 trillion. That's definitely going to have some impact on U.S. currency, and particularly its relative value to other currencies, but also other economies and governments around the world are increasing their spending. This comes in the wake of continued quantitative easing, and we've seen currencies such as the Brazilian real reach a historically low value. The impact on that, particularly on Brazilian soybean farmers, is to basically this season they're having record profit in their soybean production. Brazil being the largest producer of world soybeans and the biggest competitor in the global marketplace, with the U.S. coming in at a close number 2. They're harvesting their soybeans at the moment, and it's showing profit margins for this season. The devaluation of the currency over the last 6 months, we've seen about an 18% further depreciation in that currency, which is showing record prices for soybeans and Brazilian real as the currency continues to be weak. Also, over the last 6 months, as that depreciated, we saw with the higher value of the Brazilian real 6 months ago, they were able to buy inputs and product to put that crop in at a very, very competitive price. We're seeing net margins for soybean production down there around levels of 25%, which is a very, very good return if you're a Brazilian producer. As the market will continue to watch these U.S. dollar values as this spin continues to drive relative currency values, I think the important thing to keep in mind while we've been talking about Brazil, it also has an impact on other exporting countries like Argentina, the Ukraine, Russia, and grain coming out of the Black Sea. And that's been a significant driver of commodity prices over the last 3 years, actually, as we've seen the U.S. economy strengthen relative to other economies, and it's made U.S. commodities appear very, very expensive in any other currency other than U.S. dollars. And this is impacting both producers who are seeing very high prices like Brazil. In addition, our buyers are seeing very, very high prices in their economies, which are quite a bit weaker than the U.S., and that's having a bit of demand destruction as consumers continue to wind back their purchasing. So just a reminder for the U.S. situation, we need to continue to keep a close dollar on those foreign exchange rates as we move forward. It's not something we naturally look at every day, but it's an important issue to keep an eye on. Thank you, Dan.
Well, and Guy, before you go, that high dollar is affecting the wheat markets for sure.
Yes.
And
yes, that's across all commodities, not just soybeans, but wheat particularly, as well as corn. Anything that the U.S. exports very, very expensive in U.S. dollars. And I'd extend that into the meat sector as well.
Well, really appreciate working with Guy, and he's got an article dated earlier, just a few days ago, notes and observations on international commodity markets. I appreciate his international perspective from working overseas in past years, and really appreciate his expertise here in shop here at KSU. So thank you, Guy. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan.